Welcome into the Fans Only Sports Network and welcome to Venatulo Gym here at Cranston High School East for boys volleyball action. The Coventry Oakers are here to take on the Cranston East Thunderbolts for a 6:30 p.m. matchup. Charlie Adams here on play-by-play with Ashton Allison doing the camera work. Here you can see the Cranston East team huddled up right before we can get game action to you. Cranston East is on a 4-game win streak. They've been rolling off of a 3-1 win versus Classical in their last one out on Monday. That's a big measuring stick win for this team that they were able to pick up successfully. For the Oakers, they are 0-5 on the year. They've won 3 sets in their 5 games. 1 came against Hendricken, 2 came against Cheraho. They haven't played in 6 days compared to Cranston East, who played just on Monday. And we're just about ready to get things going. Cranston East started the season with 2 sweep losses versus LaSalle and North Kingstown, 2 of the top teams in Rhode Island. But since then, a 4-game win streak, and it's topped off by Classical. That was really a tough team looking at the matchups on paper, but Cranston East made it look easy with a 3-1 win there. So as it stands right now, Cranston East sits 4-2 overall, 3-2 in league. That one non-league victory came against Central. It was their first win of the season, a 3-1 victory over in Providence. Teams are lined up, ready to go. Cameraman Ashton Allison is in the building and hopefully ready to record. Referees all set up in their positions. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in to the Fans Only Sports Network, bringing in this volleyball action. We appreciate your support. To further support Cranston East, you could tune in to Thunderbolt Sports Talk, the only Cranston East podcast that covers sports directly on your screen right now. Every Friday that there's school, there's a Cranston East Thunderbolt Sports Talk episode on Spotify and all your favorite podcast streaming platforms. Charlie Adams and Tim Yeen both co-hosting that program. Tim Yeen off into Cambodia for next episode and the previous episode. Game underway. Coventry serves to start us off, and a spike by Tafa Ndoye goes out of bounds. The Okers pick up point number 1. Now Comperdiff with the miss hit, and Cranston East falls to a 2-0 hole to start our opening set. If you're just tuning in to Cranston East Boys Volleyball for the first time here on the Fans Only Sports Network, as that serve goes directly out of bounds from Coventry. The numbers in gray are the set lead, so 0-0, and the numbers in white are the score of the current set, which is 2-1 as Larry Yin sits back ready to serve. Yin's been one of the best servers in the state to start off the season. We'll see how he starts off today's game. Seemed a little under the weather in warm-ups. I know a lot of the Thunderbolts team has been battling illness, especially Caden Ricard. Considered it a flu game for his past 2 matchups. And now a spike down from Pinsons goes just out of bounds. The Okers pick up a point. Set 1 here, 3-1. Between the Okers and the Thunderbolts. Thank you again to everyone who's tuned in, watching this boys volleyball action live and free. Dennis Dixon with a clean point for Cranston East there. Caden Ricard checks into the game for the first time. Heads right to the front lines. Back to serve is Caleb Schum for the Thunderbolts. Schum with the clean serve. Quick block by Ricard on the one tap over from Coventry. And now a lob up for Dixon. Gets the point across for Cranston East. Even for the first time since this set started at 3-3. Schum back looking to serve once again. Tossed up, and it will be blocked in by Cranston East for the point. And Schum once again will start off this point here with the serve. Cranston East in their black uniforms taking on the gradient red to black of the Okers. A little sloppy for Coventry to get it over, but they do, and Pinsons makes them pay with a clean spike for the kill. Pinsons rising above the competition to spike it down. Charles Pinsons, one of the captains for this Cranston East team. Coventry blocked there, but it falls in. Cranston East gets the block but can't respond fully. The Thunderbolts are rocking these black jerseys that are new. They didn't start the season off wearing these jerseys, and they might be a little lucky, as that's right around when this team started winning. Dixon's with a clean tap to get the point there. Just lightly tapping it over, easily jumping to reach it and scored a point. Pinson serves. Coventry tries to field it, but Charles Pinson picks up the ace. The Okers, not much to their jerseys. A gradient, and that's about it. Double touch from Coventry loses them that point. Cranston East starting to pull away in our first set. The Okers just have a number on the front and on the back. They have their number as well as Coventry listed where your last name would normally be. Can't say I'm the biggest fan at all. Pinson's reached out with one hand to try to save that. Unsuccessful. It falls in for a Coventry point. Now, Cranston East, on the other hand, we could talk about their jerseys all day. They look great. Black jerseys with white numbers. Nice East lettering there. Coventry picks up a second point in a row. Those jerseys made by New England Athletic Apparel. Always producing great stuff there. Now Schum sets it up for Ricard. Ricard looks for the kill. Coventry somehow gets it over. And now too wide on the hit from from Carlos Laura. The Okers are now within one of tying up set number one at 8 apiece. Ricard will try again. This one blocked. Dixon saves it from being a Coventry point, and now trying to pinpoint it in. Ricard picks up the kill after Coventry unable to send it back over. 9-7. Cranston East leading over Coventry. Charlie Adams here with you for the Fans Only Sports Network, bringing you Cranston East boys volleyball action. Coventry tries to drop it in. It goes out of bounds. The Thunderbolts first to 10 in our opening set. Okers blocked and now give up the point. Caden Ricard goes high and sends it back where it came from for the Cranston East point there. Caden Comperdiff, one of the many seniors on the Thunderbolts roster, serves it over. Now a tap over from Cameron Marcotte for Coventry. Going wide, Caden Ricard sends it out of bounds. Coventry picks up the point. 11-8 as some substitutions made here with Dennis Dixon and Caden Comperdiff heading to the bench. Charles Pinson's with the first touch for Cranston East, and now Laura sends it over, picks up the kill. 12-8. Caden Ricard checks off. Cato Comperdiff heads on and is back to serve. Comperdiff's serve is going to be an ace as Thong Nguyen can't do anything with it. Comperdiff looks for back-to-back aces. The Okers return it, and now Schum sets it up for Laura, who drops it in. Cranston East picking up another. The Bolts lead by 6 here in set number 1. Cato Compertiff's third serve in a row goes out of bounds, and the Okers take over possession of the serve here, 14-9. Cameron Marcotte serves it into the net for Coventry. Cranston East with an easy point there. And Carlos Laura returns the favor on behalf of Cranston East as he can't get the serve over the net. We'll see if the streak continues. Successful serve from Coventry. The return effort from Tafa and Toye has Coventry reeling as they give up the point once again. Now Larry Yin, the libero in the white jersey, back to serve for Cranston East. Yin sneaking it just over the net. Coventry returns fire, and it's saved by Cranston East. The block picks up point number 17 in the set. Checking into the game for the first time here in our first set, Christian Rivera comes in as Tafa Ndoye heads out. Rivera with some tape, it seems, around his right hand. Didn't stop him from getting the serve off successfully, and the return effort comes from Marcotte for the Okers, as good spike down from Dennis Dixon picks up Cranston East 18th point. Timeout taken from Coventry, and we'll take a timeout right along with them. 18-11, the Thunderbolts lead over to Okers. We'll be right back. Welcome back to set number 1 here. Cranston East leads over the Okers, with Christian Rivera back to serve. Rivera sends that out of bounds. Okers pick up their 11th point in our first set. Thank you to everyone tuned in watching the Fans Only Sports Network. Cranston East boys volleyball coverage here. Tune in on Thursday, just tomorrow, for some baseball action of Cranston East, broadcasted live and free right where you found this one. Cranston East mistake gives the Okers point 12 in their first set, in that quick set for Dixon sends a spike straight out of bounds. 13 points for Coventry in our first set as they're ready to serve. And Coventry's libero unable to get that serve over the net. 19-13. Now Caleb Schum Once again, the man serving it in for Cranston East, picking up the ace there. 20 points for Cranston East, 5 points away from closing out set one. And the Okers return fire and drop it in. 20-14. Coventry not going to go down without a fight. But they're not doing themselves any favors either, as Nguyen can't get it over the net. Charles Pinson's back to serve. 21 points for Cranston East in their first set, leading by 7. Laura gets it over on the third hit for Cranston East. Now the block attempt forces Laura to one-hand save. Dixon pushes it in for the kill. 22-14. Now Pinson's serve. Pinson's with the dig. Yin comes over. Laura sends it in. Good recovery there for the Bolts. Set continues with Schoon setting it up and being blocked back by Coventry. 22-15. Coventry successfully serving it. Laura spikes it down and is blocked. Cameron Marcotte there for Coventry getting the block. The Bolts still just need 3 points to close out set one. As Dixon goes high, sends it in. Coventry reeling on defense. Ricard drops it in. Spike for the kill. 2 points to go in set one if Cranston East wants to close this, as Larry Yin and Dennis Dixon head off. Served by Comfortiff. Tapped over by Marcotte. Trying to find some empty space. And the Quakers return it. A quick block from Ndoye, and they pick up the point. The Thunderbolts now just 1 point away from putting set one in the books. Comfortiff drops it in and an ace to win the first set. 25-16. Cranston East wins first set by 9 points. We'll be back with second set action on the other side of this break. Welcome back. Set 2 just about ready to get started here. Cranston East picked up set 1 victory 25-16. If you're wondering about the school on the other side of the city for Cranston East, the Cranston West Falcons picked up a 3-0 sweep over Lincoln in a Division II championship rematch yesterday. You can watch that replay live, or you can watch that replay on demand for free if you head over to the live tab on our YouTube page. Just as you can watch the replay of this game on demand in the same exact spot if you want to pick through it for highlights and all that good stuff. The Falcons looked great. They'll meet up with Cranston East at some point down the road. Always a great rivalry matchup. I believe Cranston West got the better of the Bolts in their meeting last year. But the Thunderbolts this year have seemed to be a pretty strong unit following those opening 2 games versus 2 of the top teams in the state. Larry Yin kicks off set number 2, serving it up to the Okers. And Laura unable to move over and save it. Coventry starts set 2 out in front. Now Laura receives from the Okers, and the block unsuccessful from Coventry as Pinsons picks up the kill. 1-1, set 2 getting underway here. Charlie Adams with Ashton Allison doing the camera work for the Fans Only Sports Network here at Cranston East during school vacation. Not for these players and not for us here as Thunderbolt Sports media members. Dennis Dixon goes high for the kill, and Coventry unable to block successfully. 2-1, Cranston East leads. Caleb Schum serves it in. The Okers' response goes out of bounds from what I saw, and now the referees agree. Out of bounds. Cranston East point. A little bit of hesitation there, but the right call made. A little miscommunication there from the Okers as Cranston East gets a point. Cranston East hasn't lost a set aside from that one set versus Classical on Monday. During this 4-game winning streak, it's just been sweeps. Started off with the Central 3-1 victory, which might be the second set that they've lost. And a big spike from Cranston East. So 2 sets have been lost in their 4-game win streak. Still nothing to write home about for the Thunderbolts as they've really just ran through these teams. Both sets lost on the road. At home, they have not dropped a set and haven't done so yet today, and look 5-2 like they might not drop this one either. In all of those wins, Tim Yeen has been nowhere to be seen in the state of Rhode Island. Thankfully for Cranston East Sports, he's been up in Cambodia, enjoying life, enjoying vacation, as we enjoy Cranston East Sports on the Fans Only Sports Network. Bolts picked up another point there as I went rambling on. Big serve from Pinsons, just misses the mark as it's out of bounds. 6-3. Nguyen's serve. Draws a whistle, a violation, and a Cranston East point. Now some discourse here. So maybe disagreements on who was supposed to be serving there. Some fans taking this as a chance to skedaddle out of here. And we remain in a pause here. Refs talking over with the scorers table. As you can see, a live look in on Caden Ricard, who exhibiting the symptoms he might be fighting. Maybe a little flu game part 3. Now the Bolts are huddled up. Still no action on the court. Looks like they'll side with Coventry, who are back to serve, and the Okers actually ended up getting a point there. Don't know how that happened, but they did. 6-4. And I guess ball doesn't lie. So 7-4 now. Coventry goes up, sends it in, and Cranston East unable to block it successfully. 7-5. Point dropped in by Tafa Ndoye. Cranston East back into the scoring column here. Coventry reeling, one-handed. The Okers tried to get it over the net, unsuccessful. 9-5 now in our second set. Marcotte sends it over. Pinsons fields it. Now Schum setting it up for Laura, and Coventry unable to respond. Laura gives the Bolts their 10th point in our second set. They've led for most of the day here. And they lead in set 2. Looking to be an ace, and it will. Bolts have had a good amount of those. Now one-handed, Coventry gets it over. Pinsons sets it up. Laura sends it in, and Laura gets another kill. Cato Comparative ready to serve, but first a substitution as Thong Nguyen comes off. Now we're ready to get going with Comparative still back to serve, sends it in, and Marcotte tries to tip it over. He does. Coventry 6 points here in set 2. If you like the Thunderbolt Sports action, make sure to follow Thunderbolt Sports Media on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, at TB Sports Media. Coventry picks up an ace as Larry Yin unable to respond, serving on the back lines as libero for Cranston East. Can the Okers make it back-to-back aces? This time Yin successfully sets or bumps, and now it's sent in by Pinsons for the kill. 13-7. Set 2 continuing here with Cranston East in front, and Carlos Laura back to serve. Okers tap it over, and now the second touch by Schum, catching Coventry off guard. Bit unexpected from Schum to just put it over and find empty space to drop it in. Cranston East will take 4 touches there and give up a point to Coventry. Good effort on the play. You can follow Cranston East Athletics at TB Sports Media on Instagram and Twitter. Plenty of content over there. For the volleyball team, we've just started up the Cranston East Boys Volleyball Dig of the game. Notably named after head coach Jamal Diggs. And there's plenty of other action available there. How you keep up to date with games going on, results, as well as where you can watch and when you can watch games like this live on the Fans Only Sports Network. 16-8. Set 2. Thunderbolts just 9 points away from going up a controlling 2-0 as Coventry can't get the job done there on that point, and now they give up 17th point in set 2. They'll take their first timeout of our second set. 17-8, Cranston East leads over the Okers. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Set 2 continues 17-8. Cranston East leads over to Okers. Off the Coventry timeout, the Bolts give a point to Coventry. Serving it out of bounds. Now, as much as Tim Yeen is a curse to Cranston East Sports, you can't deny his dedication. And again, the Okers return the favor. There is a reason that in the school yearbook this year, Tim Yeen won the Bleed Green Senior Superlative. Despite being in the country of Cambodia, where it's currently about 6 a.m., he's tuned in watching on the Fans Only Sports Network. Some great volleyball action here as Coventry can't get it over the net, 19-9. In Cambodia, it's currently, 6:07 a.m. So good morning to Tim Yeen, who's probably watching along. Don't know if he tuned out, but I know he was here at one point. Clean block from the Okers. And now Pinsons picks up the kill. Cranston East, 20 points. Chance to win set 2 before the Oakers can reach double digits. Tim's going to have to set his alarm extra early tomorrow for the 4 p.m. Eastern time game of Cranston East baseball when they take on the Cumberland Clippers. I'll be on the call joined by John Garcia, who, if you've tuned into a couple of the boys volleyball games recently, you might have heard from on one of these broadcasts. Should be a fun time. Try to make baseball exciting for those who don't think it is. Caleb Schum serves it over. It's going to go way out of bounds, and double digits for the Oakers. The Oakers lost the first set 25-16. Just 4 points to go for Cranston East if they'd like to do better on their performance from set 1. Now Coventry gets back-to-back scores. Nice to see some fellow athletes, supporting athletes here at the Cranston East gym. Some of the girls lacrosse players back from their game, taking in the volleyball action. Pinsons taps it over. The libero for Coventry bumps it, and now Yin can't get it up in the air enough. And the Oakers up to 12 points now in set 2. 21-12, a 9-point differential between Cranston East and Coventry. Serve with the Oakers here. Pinson's bumps set from Schum, and the spike down from Dennis Dixon. (22-12) as Dixon rise above to knock it in for the kill. And dropped in. Perfectly placed by Pinsons for the ace. 2 points to go for Cranston East to close out set 2. Thank you to everyone still tuned in to the Fans Only Sports Network live or on demand. As Pinsons drops it in, back-to-back aces. Charles Pinsons with the precision airstrike, looking to make it 3 aces in a row to close out set 2. Just a light toss over, and Coventry returns the effort out of bounds. That'll do it for set 2, 25-12. The Thunderbolts handle business in our second set, go up 2-0. We'll see you at set number 3, which could be our third set when we return. Welcome back into the Fans Only Sports Network. Set 3 coming up with Cranston East leading 2-0, a chance to close out this contest. And I'll tell you right now, there's going to be some can't miss content on the Thunderbolt Sports Media Instagram story if Cranston East can close out what would be their 5th win in a row. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are too. At TB Sports Media. Coventry starts us off with the serve. Laura bumps. Schum sets and Pinson spikes it right into the net. Coventry gets the point. Oakers start another set with the first point. Cranston East looks for their first as that found the just right space for the point. Not much room to work with where Cranston East wasn't going to field it. Right there was one of those places. 2-0 here in our third set. And now Yin, slight error there, trying to bump it, goes backwards. No one there to recover. 3-0. Cranston East digging themselves a hole to start set number 3. But Pinson's puts a Band-Aid on it, spikes it down. First point on the board of set 3 for Cranston East. Christian Rivera on off the bench and back to serve. Yin takes a seat. And now Marcotte sends it over hard. And the point going with Coventry on the double touch. So along with our final score results from this game, as well as our girls lacrosse game, we'll have the Cranston East boys volleyball dig of the game with game footage as the Bolts picked up a point there. Caleb Schum to serve. Schum scores a basket. And it's going to stay stuck up there. Stuck in the basket after Schum served, and Coventry knocked it up there. There'll be no points for anyone, and Schum will reserve it. Not worth 3 points, as athletic director Traficante wanted. Pinson's nearly clotheslined himself on the net. It's going to cost Cranston East a point, 5-2. Definitely 3-point range. Maybe, is that an alley-oop? I don't know. There's plenty of discourse that could be had. And Pinson's a little too hard on the spike. It goes out of bounds. For the first time in this game, Coventry has held a lead for a decent amount of time. New territory for the Thunderbolts here tonight. And now it's 6-3 as Cranston East gets it in, and Coventry sends it back under the net. Thunderbolts get the point there, and now Pinson's ready to serve. Pinson's another ace. He's been money from his serves today. It's not his first ace. Probably won't be his last. He has another serve coming up here. And he follows up the ace with a hard serve fault as it goes directly into the net. 7-4. And I feel like that's every single time, but Coventry returned a favor. I don't know if it's a case of whatever you can do, I can do better, but it seems like you can't get one person sending it into the net without the next serve doing the exact same thing. Now Caden Comperdiff ready to serve. He'll get it over. And some expert maneuvering there from Thong Nguyen to dodge the serve and let it go out of bounds behind the back line. Shifting in midair to evade that. Pinson's bumps it, now set by Schum, and Ricard drops it in for the kill. Gracefully dropping it right where nobody is to pick up the point for the Thunderbolts. Comperdiff with the serve, this one from Cato Comperdiff, not Caden. And it's going to end up an ace as no return comes from Coventry. Cato and Caden, both some of the best servers for the Thunderbolts. The Okers tap it over enough times and finally get the point as a result. 9-7, they remain in front. You're wondering the status on the volleyball that got lodged into the net. It's still there. Probably won't come down for a while. Maybe ever. Who knows? But serve fault from Coventry. Point for Cranston East. And let's see if the trend continues. And Carlos Laura gets a serve fault of his own. He clears the net. Bolts send it back over in two. And now deep, it goes out of bounds. The Thunderbolts get the point. Tie it up 9 apiece. The Okers in set 2 nearly didn't hit double digits, and now they're just 1 point away and knotted with the Thunderbolts here in our third set. Schum gets it to Pinson's. And Coventry sets up the return, blocked back onto their side. The Okers now send it in from Marcotte. Laura tries to spike it, but the Okers block it and get to 10 points quicker than the Thunderbolts. It's the first time all night here that Coventry has beat Cranston East to that 10-point mark. But it's also so kind of them to get that serve fault there to make sure that Cranston East can also be at 10 points as well. We're even 10-10. There had to be a more efficient way for that guy to cross by me. I don't know why he cut through the whole stands, but he did. And on the court, Cranston East gets another point. You saw him cross over to camera for a second. Guess he got to his destination. Oakers with a miss hit, and now a second miss hit coming from Thong Nguyen that cost them the point. Christian Rivera wide on his serve. It goes out of bounds, and Coventry keeping it close with the Thunderbolts here in set 3. Cranston East has yet to use a timeout here against the 0-5 Oakers. Haven't really had a case where they've needed to use one, but might see them call one here in our third set, which stays close. Comparative sends it over from deep on the third hit. Now the block finds its way back to Larry Yin. Miraculous recovery from the Oakers off of the serve, and now the spike from Pinsons gets the job done. Thought Dennis Dixon had more than enough power. Coventry kept on fighting. Ends up being Pinson's kill when it's all said and done. Caden Ricard back onto the court, and Caleb Schum back to serve. His serve died fast, and now a clean block from Dixon and Ricard, and Ricard the one-handed scoop over for the kill. Ricard wouldn't stand for that to be on the Cranston East side of things any longer. Getting the quick kill, and Schum gets the quick fault, and Coventry picks up another point here, 14-12. Nguyen's subbing off here for the Oakers. Good setup from Schum to Dixon for the kill. 15-12. Cranston East starting to pull away after a slow start to our third set. I mean, Coventry's jerseys are so ugly. I can't. At least Cranston East are nice to look at. Pinsons is looking for another ace. He doesn't find it there. It goes out of bounds. 15-13. I mean, just toss a logo on it. It's just a gradient. Schum sets it up, and it's scored upon by Carlos Laura. Thank you to everyone tuned in to the Fans Only Sports Network still as we watch to the conclusion here of this contest between the Bolts and the Oakers. Another problem with Coventry, what is an Oaker? It's been a question often asked, often never answered. Not sure it exists. Well, the Oakers picked up a point there. As Cranston East couldn't return fire. And now some substitutions coming in as for the first time today, Tim Calixto checks in for Cranston East. 16-14. Waiting back for the Coventry serve. Finally comes, finds it to Laura, and now Schum sets it up for Ricard to tip it over. Now empty space. Cranston East gives up another. It's a 1-point game. Again, the Thunderbolts have lost two sets in this 4-game streak. One to Classical and one to Central. this Oakers team is not a team that they'd want to be losing a set to. But it's all tied up now as Darian Peterson couldn't get it over. (16-16). Laura gets it set up, and the block from Coventry puts the Oakers back in front here in our third set. 17-16, the Oakers now having their most points scored in a set tonight, coming here in this third set. They just got 16 in the first and then 12 in the second set. Ricard dumps it in, play still alive. Yin travels over, and now set up for Laura. The Oakers trying to drop it in, this time unsuccessfully, inch out of bounds. Cranston East ties the game. Ricard checks off, and Cato Comparative on to serve. Knotted at 17 apiece, 8 points in favor of either of these teams could put them with set one in their favor. Make that 7 points for the Oakers. We make a substitution now with Nguyen headed back onto the court. Cameron Marcotte ready to serve. Little pause there for the Oakers to re-sub Nguyen into the games. Now doing it correctly. Thunderbolts tap it back over on the block. Now they do it again, and this time Shroom gets the kill. Now Charles Pinsons will head back onto the floor. Off comes Tim Calixto. Carlos Laura with the serve. Big spike from the Oakers has Larry Yin unable to field that one. 19-18. Powerful serve coming from the Oakers, and the return effort with the same energy from Charles Pinsons. Dennis Dixon heads on to the floor here. And a more familiar group for the Thunderbolts, trying to close out set 3. With the Oakers just 5 points away, Cranston East is trailing. Set up for Pinsons, who smokes it. 20-20. The Bolts do not want to be playing extra volleyball if they can end it right here in our third set. Want to conserve some energy. Maybe for that game on Friday. It's going to be a tough matchup against North Smithfield. And now the Bolts out in front, 21-20. This Friday they take on North Smithfield, where they'll travel and play at North Smithfield. Another top team along with LaSalle and North Kingstown and Classical as well. Cranston East got the best of Classical, so maybe that's where they fit into the pack. With North Smithfield sweeping Classical. Definitely another measuring stick type of game. Cranston East serves out of bounds. Still no timeouts used on either side here in our third set. They've been just going back and forth, trading points, and now we're even 21-21. Serve fault from Coventry puts Cranston East back out in front. The Okers couldn't get it over the net. Charles Pinsons, who's usually no trouble to get it over, more prone to sending it past the back line more than anything. (22-22). Cranston East leads 2-0. 3 points are what they need to finish things off for the night and take down the Okers in a clean sweep. The Okers have brought a whole new attitude to this third set as Dennis Dixon gets the kill for Cranston East. They're showing a lot more skill in this third set that we didn't see coming from them in our first two. And Dennis Dixon back to serve. 2-point lead, or a 1-point lead, turns into a none-point lead. Dennis Dixon sends it into the net. We're back even. 23-23. The Bolts are going to have to get back-to-back scores if they would like to win this at 25. Laura bumps, Shroom sets, Laura fires, and gets it in. The Bolts don't look like they're playing games here. Getting down to business for the 24th point. Now Caden Ricard is back to serve. And a chance to close out the set for Cranston East. Coventry looking to force a deuce here. As Pinsons bumps, Shroom sets, and Laura send us home. He can't. Coventry with the return effort. Now Shroom setting it up for Laura again. This time, the Coventry Okers still with more life. Laura, third time's the charm. He drops it in, and that will do it. 25-23, the Thunderbolts take home our third set and take home the contest against the Okers. Another clean sweep for Cranston East. 3-0 over the Okers. 5-game win streak belonging to Cranston East here. And they'll move on to face North Smithfield this Friday on the road, where they'll have a tough matchup there and definitely have the odds up against themselves when they face off there. But for us here on the Fans Only Sports Network, we'll say goodbye. With a 3-0 win, the Cranston East Thunderbolts continue to roll on in boys volleyball action. If you enjoyed this broadcast, you might want to tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for baseball here on the Fans Only Sports Network. The Cranston East Thunderbolts baseball team taking on Cumberland. Should be a good matchup, broadcasted to you live and free right where you found this one. But until then, we'll say goodbye. Have a great rest of your night. On behalf of myself, Charlie Adams, and my cameraman, Ashton Allison, we hope to see you join us tomorrow. But for now, have a great rest of your night.